So for those of you that may own a pool, you may or may not realize how much better pool life is if you have a pool robot. I've done several videos on several different models over the years, and today we're looking at another one. This is from Seauto. This is the SAT20. Now this will be the first pool robot that I've ever actually utilized that doesn't have actual tracks to run itself on the bottom of the pool. This just has the 4 wheels on it. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this actually operates. This is a very affordable pool robot in, you know, compared to other models out there. But today we're gonna unbox this guy, get it charged up, and actually do the first pool cleaning. I do have a pool that I haven't ran a robot in for a couple days, so the bottom does have a decent amount of litter on it. So we're gonna see how this actually operates on cleaning my pool. Now I have a 20-foot round above ground pool, so that's what it is. Let's get this guy out of the box. Okay, let's get this tape all cut open here nice and easy. So we do have a instruction manual, or at least manual for it. Do have the charger cable here. Let's set that off to the side. Do have a recovery hook that you can attach to your pool pole, so you can actually pull it back out of the pool. I already have a pool hook down there for a different robot that I have been reviewing, so but this does come with its own hook. And then we had the bot itself. Nothing else in the box outside of that. One thing out of the gate real quick, weight-wise, not too incredibly heavy. Size-wise, nice and small and petite. So this would actually work very good on some smaller pools versus one of the ones that I'm testing right now is definitely built for a very large pool. So my pool is actually undersized for it. So this guy, let's see here. We lift up on the front right here, and then we get into the litter collector, right? Okay, so it looks like there's 2 tabs here. Yep, okay, so that actually pops off altogether. Okay, so lid removes, and then you have a decent sized litter trap, so you can kind of see the size of that guy there, not too bad. All 4 sides have plenty of space for the water to pass through. So the nice thing is you can obviously see everything through here, but it, you know, obviously it is pretty see-through with the mesh. Everything else in the bot is pretty hollow, other than the motor electronics and stuff that are in there. So this just sets down in, and pretty simple. Up on top we do have a little rubber door, well, at least it looks like it. Yes, it's just a really heavy rubber door for the power plug to charge it up. Do have some plastic protection stuff on here. There we go, pull that off. It looks like back here as well, looks like we have a sensor. So I'm gonna open that up so the sensor is easy to see, and it can obviously see what's going on. And then of course you have the impeller on top. It's gonna keep it pushed down against the floor or against the walls as it climbs up it. So I'm interested. Now the wheels themselves are kind of partially rubberized. The tires are, so it should have grip at least on there. And of course with this pushing, it's pushing it down and ejecting water up. That should actually work pretty good. Okay, on the front, looks like that's just for a way for water to come out. And then of course we actually have, technically I guess the handle is the front. So this is what actually is going to clean the pool itself. And on the bottom, it's going to direct it with these little rubber guys here to the intake right here, which goes directly into the capture bases. So with that said, we got to get this charged up before I can do anything. So that's number 1 item that I got to do. So this is a 28 volt 2.3 amp plug that goes into here. I'm going to plug this into the wall on this far side, and then can only plug in one direction. Plug that guy in there. All right, off to the races it goes to charge up. So red, I'm assuming that means charging. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that charge, and then we'll be back once it's done and we're putting it in the pool. One thing I wanted to show real quick is, you know, before we actually go out and actually do it, is there are 3 different modes on this guy, and this is what you'll find on most pool cleaning robots, specifically ones that can also clean the sides. You can do just the wall, you can do just the floor, or you can do the floor and the walls. And so with just this button, once you turn it on, you basically can click through these 3 different cycles and, well, clean the pool depending on how you want to clean it. So if you're just looking to clean the floor today, you can just do the floor. If maybe the floor, you know, the floor is good, but maybe you just want to do the walls, you can do that, or you can do the complete set. In this case, we're going to do the wall plus the floor once this guy gets fully charged. Okay, so I'm standing next to my pool, which is a 20 foot by about 4 feet deep. So about 10,000 gallons, a little less than, but let's give this guy a go. So what we should have to do is push and hold this button. She kicks on. Then we can select which cycle we need. We're gonna go to wall and floor, and it's red. So if you saw on that, when I push it, it goes, you can just cycle through. So wall and floor, and then these sensors, I think, are actually the sensors that know when it's actually in the water. So we're gonna throw her in. I'll change the camera angle. Okay, so it is actually that now it's just blinking blue on here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and let her sink. Not that it matters which way it's pointing. So my pool's fairly clean. You can see there is debris at the bottom though. And she's definitely started. Blew a whole bunch of bubbles out. And there it goes. Now it's coming back this way. Oh, there she goes. All right. And does the water line as well. That is the big thing. I was really wondering if it actually came up and actually scrubbed the water line. I would assume it did, but you just never know. That's where you, in my opinion, that's where you really want it to get to is the water line, because that's where you can kind of get some scummy stuff. Then again, I do have this floating bot that keeps the skimmer, because I don't actually have a skimmer for my pool. It does the skimming for me, so that's why we have a substantial reduction in how much leaf litter and stuff we get on the bottom of our tree, of our pool, because we do have trees directly above it. So, but let's just give this guy some time, let it do its thing. One of these things that I do want to point out real quick is, obviously I do have this other robot that skims the surface. When I had my main robot, which I've owned for several years, is a corded robot, so it has to be plugged in. That cord floats on the surface of the water, which keeps this guy from doing its job. So anytime I had my corded robot in here, this guy pretty much wouldn't do much of anything worth the darn, because it would get caught up in the cord, and then that was that. Since I've been using cordless robots, this guy can just keep doing its thing. It's solar powered, it just keeps doing it, and I have to, empty it every so often. But these cordless robots on the bottom are definitely the way to go. And I'm just gonna let it keep going. I'm assuming it's just gonna go down the side little by little, and to make sure that the sides are all done, and then it'll work on the bottom last. So I'm gonna let this just go for the next hour or so. The robot itself has about an hour and 50 minutes, or I'm sorry, 150 minutes of actual battery life capable, so a little over 2 hours capable. So yeah, we're just gonna let her go. Just as a little before, you can see the leaf litter over on the far side, definitely in the middle of the pool. And then of course there's some over there where it's at right now. But that's what it looks like prior to it running. That's obviously just started. It's only gone up the wall like 3 times. Let her do her thing. Okay, so I pulled the floating robot off, and I have my daughters want to go in the pool now, but you can see what there are still some specks in there. It didn't get everything, but let's take a peek what it actually got. Okay. Still blinking blue like it wants to go, but I'm gonna go ahead and push and hold the button for 3 seconds. And there she turned off. Let's take a peek at what's actually inside. Okay, let's see what we actually got in here yet now. not a ton of stuff. Of course, the bottom of the pool wasn't crazy dirty, but it definitely missed quite a bit. And it definitely stopped. So it was like it was done doing its whole cycle. Took a couple hours. But yeah, definitely not full, but I didn't anticipate that, but we definitely didn't get everything. So, different shirt, different day, but I just wanted to go over the thoughts, at least my initial thoughts on the robot now that I've used it one time, and of course I did it on a floor and wall cycle, so I don't know what to think yet. It definitely missed some debris in the pool, and there is a potential that maybe it wasn't done yet, because it does like to sit and, like, there's a couple times when I was up, you know, after like an hour and a half or whatever, looking down, and I'm like, oh, it's not moving anymore. And I'm watching it, and for a good 15 seconds, it's not moving. And then I'd start walking down to the pool with my camera, and then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, it's not where it was. Now it's okay. I'll come back. And so potentially I grabbed it out of the pool a little early. I'm not gonna say too much about that because this is not a review. This is a unboxing, setup, and first use. So it did its thing. It definitely cleans the pool. It definitely scrubs to the water line. So we'll actually see in the end how much it actually does. So review video will be on my Tech Gooch channel. I will put a link to that in this video as well. I actually think I'm gonna actually post them at the same time. So if you're watching this, check out my review video because I will have used the robot multiple times by then. Well, any other questions, comment below. Head over to techgooch.com. You can actually get a hold of me directly there. Otherwise, thanks for checking us out here on GeekSmart. Thanks for watching this whole video setup and tutorial and first use. And hope to see you soon for another setup here on GeekSmart. Thanks for watching. See you again.